Okay, what's up, everybody? Good morning. Welcome to a Tuesday edition of Morning Scone presented by Brock, the Baton Rouge Orthopedic Clinic, Parish Construction and Roofing. If you need an orthopedist, you go to Brock. You need a roof, you call Parish. Unique Physique, uniquephysique.com, Restored Motions, restoredmotions.com, and On Fire Athletes, platform powered by Gamecoin. Okay, y'all, thanks so much for being here with us this morning. Hope your morning's off to a great start. Draft week is off and running, and the rumors and reports are already flying and flowing. So Adam Schefter reports that the Saints are already making calls about moving up to select Jaxson Dart, meaning they would not select Shedeur Sanders at 9 if he was there. They would take best available, most likely an offensive or defensive lineman, and then try to move up from 40, either early in round 2 or maybe late in round 1 to select Jaxson Dart. And the theory there is that you would have to get ahead. The thought is you would have to get ahead of Cleveland, right? So Cleveland very likely is going to take either Travis Hunter or Abdul Carter 2 overall after Cam Ward goes 1 to Tennessee. So Cleveland then would be thinking about a quarterback with its next pick, most likely Jaxson Dart or Tyler Shuck, one of the two. So you'd have to get ahead of Cleveland basically to make the pick that you wanted, whichever guy that is. So I don't mind that strategy at all. I've said this before. I don't think the Saints are going to use 9 picks. Remember, you have 2 3s and 2 4s in this draft because of the Marshawn Lattimore trade. So you can effectively take some of the draft capital you got from Washington to move up a few spots to hello, this is Matt. Hey, Vince, I'm good, man. Thank you for returning the call. Yeah, so there's a new so our um, uh, digital um, loose understanding of this, Vince. Like this is not my forte, but my understanding from someone on web team, it seems like part of the issue is that our site is huge because of all the photos that obviously are accompanying every article that we post. Maybe that's what's causing this. Okay. Yeah, that's not too much. Yeah. So it's the I wonder if any that has well, I mean it's NFL draft week, so um like we might have had just a big boost yesterday. There were two pretty significant stories. There was kind of some breaking news around the Saints that became kind of a big deal. So that could have driven a lot of traffic. Mm-hmm. Okay. Yeah, that would be great. And, and just for context, Vince, it's interesting because, and I appreciate you very much for calling this morning. We've literally in 8 months have never had this happen one time, and now all of a sudden in the last 5 days, maybe it's happening multiple times a day. On Sunday, we were down all day. Um, thank goodness it was Easter. I don't think there was a lot of people looking for our stuff. Okay, that would be fantastic. This is my cell, so if you want to call me back, I'm around all day. Okay, Vince, I really appreciate it. Thank you for calling this morning. Okay, all right, bye bye. Okay, so no, so Hunt goes on vacation to Cyprus. No, so over the last, that was our site developer for LouisianaSports.net. Um, the stuff that I deal with on a daily basis that you all don't see. You heard me say it. Like in the last 5 days or so, we've been having this error message, this gateway timeout. The site has not been live. Let's see. Okay. Um, so anyway, the things that I deal with. We've been having this issue like in 8 months. We never had this issue, and in the last 5 days, it's happening like every day where our site just goes down, and we get this error message. So he was calling me about that. So we're trying to resolve that so our site can stop going down. It's NFL draft week. Naturally, I would like very much for our site not to be going down on draft week. So anyway, okay. Hey, Tim, good morning. Jason H., good morning. Brian Wynn, good morning. Leon, Ben, good morning. It's going to be funny. There's going to be somebody who goes back to watch us later and then sees me about 1 minute into the show, just sit there and like be on a phone call for 5 minutes. So I apologize for that, but thank you for your patience. Hey, Kelly, Dale, good morning. Kenneth Schultz, good morning. Hey, Thomas, what's going on? Justin, wait, here it is. Day two, get some. Long way to go, Thomas, before we get back to 100. Hey, Brant, if Dabo isn't Dabo still being started about NIL portal? If so, should LSU have advantage going to that game? No, this is actually the first year that that Clemson took guys out of the portal. They got one of the best players in the portal. They got Will Helt, an edge rusher out of Purdue, who was one of the top guys in the portal. They also took a big time receiver as well. So, Dabo adjusting out of necessity. I think you got probably the two best returning quarterbacks in college football in that game with Nussmeier and Cade Klubnik. So, and I think Clemson has the advantage in the game because it's at Clemson. It's not a neutral site. It's on their home field. So, LSU I think is 2.5 point underdog in that game, about a field goal, which makes sense. Game's relative push. It's on their field. They're about a field goal favorite. Makes sense. Doesn't mean LSU can't or won't win, but if you're an odds maker, I get why Clemson's a slight favorite. That's a yikes. Loomis definitely listens to your show. Does the exact opposite of what you suggest. The guy's a clown. Okay. Joey B. Has the SEC ever gotten 5 national seeds? Seems possible this year. I think the most they've ever gotten is 4. Last year, well, hang on. Last year, the SEC had the top 3 and 4 of the top 5. So was it 4 last year? I mean, last year, I know they've had 4 before. Last year they did it, but I don't know if they've ever had 5. Look into that. Hey, Brad, good morning. Do you like Bud Light Platinum? You know what? I used to drink Bud Light Platinum like when that first came out, like 10, 12 years ago. I drank Bud Light Platinum. I don't know why I kind of veered away from it. No. Tiger Diver, Ryan, Amanda Gidry. Good morning, y'all. Hey, Weston, Jason, Justin. That's what I should have done was when that was happening, when I was on that phone call, I should have played the jingle.
Parish Construction and Roofing. At Parish, we've got you covered. From the top of your roof, all the way down. Parish Construction and Roofing. Parish built. Parish built. Parish built. From your hometown. ParishBuilt.com.
All right, Brant, if you could recommend your spot to hit up for great food, drinks, and BR, what should I check out? Have a short weekend in BR. Y'all hit up, y'all reply, let Brant know. Brent, you just got to let me know, like, what are you looking to do? Like, do you want sports bar? Do you want fine dining? Do you want Louisiana food? Like, what do you, I mean, I would say you got to go hit up Chimes if you haven't been or haven't been in a long time. They got a rooftop bar or like a rooftop now at Chimes on campus. So just through the north gates, I would definitely do Chimes, especially if the weather's beautiful. Where are you staying? Like, are you staying around campus? Give us some deets about where you're staying and what you're looking to do. Hey, Leon, think selecting Dart is the way to go, or Ewers. I see we didn't pick up Penning's fifth-year option. Can we afford to keep losing players? 1-0 and losing, by the way. We draft after 4 years. I'm with you, Leon. No, I mean that you're right. Like, and by the way, that doesn't mean, hold on real quick. It doesn't mean that they're not going to re-sign Penning. It just means they didn't pick up his fifth-year option. So if you draft a player in round one, so if you draft a player, in round one and you pick up their fifth-year option, that fifth year is at a higher cap hit. So for Penning, his cap hit in 2026, if they had picked up his fifth-year option, would have been $17.4 million. Obviously, Trevor Penning is not worth $17.4 million. So they don't pick up the fifth-year option. That doesn't mean they can't re-sign him. So maybe they re-sign him to a 2-year deal at $4 million a year, or whatever the number is. I don't know. I'm just throwing that out there. So it doesn't mean he's going to be gone necessarily. It just means they didn't pick up the fifth-year option. That's one of the benefits of being a first-round pick from the team is you get the option for a fifth year of team control for that player. So for investing a first-round pick, yes, it's going to cost you more, but you get them on a rookie deal for longer. So if the player doesn't live up to that contract, then you're not going to pick up their fifth-year option because you're not going to pay him that number. So you can still sign them to an extension. Like that's what the Saints did with, I think that's what they did with Peyton Turner. Like they didn't pick up Peyton Turner's fifth-year option. So he went and signed. So Turner signed a 1-year, $2.5 million deal with Dallas. I think Andrus Pete is the other. Saints did pick up Pete's fifth-year option. Who's the other one they did not pick up? Was somebody, I can't, racking my brain. There was somebody recently they did not pick up the fifth-year option but still re-signed that player. Anyway, it's a good question. Very good question. But as far as like, can you continue to afford to draft guys and have them go? I mean, that's why you got to draft well, right? I would say that the bigger detriment has been guys where you've hit like Zach Bond in round 3, Trey Hendrickson in round 3, Caden Ellis in round 7, Chauncey Gardner-Johnson in round 4. Like these guys that you've hit, they're starting caliber players that for whatever reason you don't re-sign them, you trade them. Like that's the bigger issue to me anyway. Hey Dale, good morning. Tiger Poppy, what's up? Seth, be really excited about Jaxson Dart in round 2. Yeah, I'd be good with that. Or if they like Tyler Shuck better, yeah, I'm good with that. Is Derek Carr on the trading block? Mark, it's a good question, man. I just don't know who would trade for Derek Carr. I mean, consider the context. I always say you're not just trading for the player, you're trading for the player's contract. Who would give up an asset to take Derek Carr with presumably a shoulder injury that's going to cost him this year and take on his awful contract? There's nobody's going to do it. So I think you'd probably designate him as a post-June 1 release if you released him here this year, or you wait until next year to do it. H-Town Creole draft Dart with the 9th overall pick is a disaster. Yeah, they're not doing that, by the way. Like that's not what they're suggesting. Like nobody has suggested that they're drafting Dart 9th overall. Just to be very clear, the report from Schefter was the Saints would likely go offensive or defensive line at 9, and then they would move up from 40, their second round pick, to try to get ahead of Cleveland to take Dart or Shuck or someone like that. Hey, Michael, drafting Dart in later rounds, be on board, too many draft capital. Well, you have to define later rounds because if you're looking at, they're trying to get him here, what it sounds like late round 1, early round 2. Hey, Justin, would you be better with Dart or Ewers? Personally, I like Quinn Ewers. I feel like I'm on an island with that. A lot of people don't like him. I do. Provided he's healthy. I think Dart's probably got a little better size, good athleticism. You get Ewers presumably later in the draft. Dart's like meteoric rise up draft boards kind of concerns me because, like, what changed after watching him play football for 4 years at USC, then 3 years at Ole Miss, that all of a sudden now, since his senior season ended, do we now think of him as a first-round pick when nobody thought of him as that 2 months ago? Like, that's one of the things that kind of concerns me. You go through this process, because he measured well at the combine. I mean, I get it. You go through these exploratory conversations and you gain more information about players, but Patrick, good morning. Guy Mulligan. If we're set on Dart, should we just draft best player available at 9? Yeah, I think that's what they're going to do, Patrick. That seems like the report from Schefter, and I'd be good with that. Like, they're going to take a quarterback somewhere in this draft, and the only one at 9 I'd be okay with is Shedeur. A lot of you disagree. That's fine. I'm not saying I'm right, you're wrong. I'm just saying that I'm just giving you my opinion. I would be okay if Shedeur's there or not if they took him. It sounds like that's not what they're looking to do. Okay, if that's the case, then take the best player available because you're going to get a starter at 9. You're going to get Will Johnson at corner, Mason Graham at defensive tackle, maybe one of the offensive linemen, like Tep McMillan at receiver. Like, there's Tyler Warren, the tight end. Like, you're going to get a great player at 9 if you take the best player available. Okay, great. And then you look at 40 or maybe moving up a little bit to take Dart or Shuck and get your quarterback. Okay, like, I'm good with that approach. I think that's actually a very sensible approach. Hey, Spurge, good morning. There's no Jaden Daniels this year's draft. Saints need to rebuild both lines of scrimmage. Wait next year for a quarterback. They're not going to wait for next year for a quarterback because you don't have a quarterback right now. I mean, if Dart's out for all year, you're not going into this season with just Rattler and Haener. That's just not realistic. And plus, you have a new head coach that didn't draft either of those guys. Who's going to want to have his guy? And what's to say next year you're in a position to draft a quarterback? So you don't have the luxury of saying, I'll just wait for next year because you don't know what context next year will bring. Hey, Brent, good morning. Aaron, good morning. Caleb, good morning. Am I the only one who feels like Penning has all the intangibles to be a really good guard? Do you mean intangibles or do you mean tangibles, measurables? No, I think a lot of people have actually shared that opinion, Caleb. Like, I don't think that's new at all. I think that's something a lot of people have said, is if you can't exist out on an island in the NFL, then you exist in a phone booth and you move bodies at guard. Robert Gallery did that years ago, if you remember. I mean, that sucked for the Raiders because they made him like the second overall pick in the draft, and he became a guard. But all right. We're still not operational. All right, please smash the like button if you would. Subscribe to the channel. Facebook, like the page, share the post. Manny, celebrating our 30th wedding anniversary today. All right, Manny. Cheers to you and the missus. Congratulations on 30 years. That's amazing. Here's to 30 and 30 more and more than 30. Many, many, many more. To both of you. Let's see. Here's the thing, H-Town Creole. The other thing, too, man, is like Trevor Penning was good at right tackle last year. I didn't say he's dominant. I'm not saying he's an all-pro, but he's a starting right tackle. Like, he's not Brian Ramczyk, who's the best right tackle in football, but he's a starting right tackle. And he was the only of your offensive linemen that stayed healthy the entire season and played every game. So, could you find a better right tackle? Absolutely. Is he serviceable? Yes. I still think he'd be better at guard, but if you put him at guard, you have to have an option for right tackle. So if you go draft the tackle, great. Move Penning to guard. I wish the Saints would trade it for Will Campbell or Mason Graham. I don't think that's going to happen. Rex, good morning. 2 down, 3 tomorrow morning, going for record 97 every day. Hey, Earl, good morning. Saints need to trade back. They're just not going to do that, man. It's just not their MO. That like they don't trade back. And the other thing too is you have 9 picks right now. If you trade back to accumulate more picks, like you're not making 9 selections in this draft. So anyway, Hunter asked about Davenport. No, they picked up Davenport's 5th-year option, oddly enough. Hey, David, good morning. Ryan, good morning, Matt. Had dinner last night with Russell Shepard. 2 siblings, Harold Perkins. These boys put together. Hope LSU could overtake A&M on both guys. All right, Ryan, what you got going on in Houston, man? Shep's great. I really enjoyed seeing him in town a few weeks ago when he was here for AFR. I remember we did. Hey, James, Jeremy, good morning. Brad, do you think Derek Carr is more disliked by fans than Aaron Brooks was? Yeah, at this point. Because the thing with Aaron Brooks, like, people are frustrated with Aaron Brooks because, the interceptions and some of the silly plays, and they'd smile going to the sideline. I mean, like, that bothered people. But remember, Aaron Brooks also won the first ever playoff game in Saints history back in 2000. And is actually in the Saints Hall of Fame. Derek Carr has never won anything. And this whole situation feels like he's sabotaging the organization. Like, bro, speak up. I mean, if you have a problem, don't do this whole subtle, am I injured? Am I not? Shoulder, whatever, break. They're not trading down. Justin, Derek Carr needs to call Tennessee, get him an NIL deal. Hey, Miracle, good morning. Hit that like button. Okay, 5 minutes from LeBerge. Which direction? Yeah, so if I were you, Brand, if you're staying there on Nicholson, you're probably going to want to do stuff around campus. Like, I mean, when you come up Nicholson, Original Walk-Ons is right there on Nicholson and Burbank. It's right by the box. That's a good place. In Chimes, I would recommend you do that and hit up the rooftop. You could always go to LeBerge and hang for a bit. I don't know if you want to pop into downtown, but there's some good spots in downtown to go hang out. Really kind of depends on what you want to do and how much time you have. A couple more here. Let's see. I got a phone interview in about 7 minutes. Caleb, don't understand the hype around Chuck. It's been injury prone, inconsistent. Seems like a combine warrior. Maybe. There seems to be a lot of consensus growing on him, right? I'm with you. I'm be through for a ton of yards. Kevin would love to see us take the best offensive lineman at whichever position that may be, guard or tackle at 9. The one thing about marrying yourself into a position, Kevin, is let's say you select at 9, but let's say hypothetically, Will Campbell's gone and Membu's gone. Well, so Kelvin Banks, it would be the net. Just I'm saying hypothetically. I don't know what the Saints board looks like. Well, let's say you have Kelvin Banks rated the 15th best player in the draft. Okay. Well, you're picking at 9. You have Kelvin Banks ranked 15. So you overdraft that guy, or and then let's say they have Tyler Warren, the 5th best player in the draft, and he's on the board. So do you take the guy who you think is the 5th best player in this draft, or do you reach for the guy you have 15th because of position? That's kind of the point, So that's why I don't think you marry yourself to position at that point. Hey, Maurice, good morning. I remember Aaron. I would take him over Carr in a heartbeat. Also, I said measurable, not intangible. Voice text, and I love my Arkansas. Okay, I was wondering, but also, Caleb, measurable, intangible, those don't sound alike. I think you're blaming Siri. And I blame Siri for a lot because Siri sucks. But those aren't two very similar words. Let's see. What does your ideal draft look like for the Saints? Best available at 9. I would love it if Mason Graham is there, the defensive lineman from Michigan. I'm not sure that he will be. If not Mason Graham, then I would probably want either Tet McMillan or Tyler Warren, one of the pass catchers. I think you've got to get explosive playmakers in your offense. I understand the issue with the offensive line that everybody's talked about. But you have 4 returning starters on the offensive line, and you went and got Tyler Radens at left guard in free agency. So I think you can find offensive line help, especially guard help, later in the draft. So I would love either Tyler Warren, Mason Graham, or one of the explosive pass catchers. Then if you want to get your quarterback at 40 or move up, late round 1 to get your quarterback there, I'm good with that. Yay, our website's back. Thank God. Perfect. All right. LouisianaSports.net is back up. Thank you to the Jesus. Thank you to the Jesus. By the way, y'all, I also am about to do an interview in 3 minutes on 680 in Atlanta. Talk LSU and Saints. So if y'all want to tune into that, you should. Go check it out. But I do have to go because then I have a breakfast at 8:45, so I need to get going, actually. Okay. All right. Let me get out of here, y'all. Brant, favorite Chimes dish? Love that you asked that. Duck and sausage gumbo. It's probably my favorite gumbo anywhere, period. That's my favorite. They have great everything, though. They have an awesome, harvest salad. Like, if you like salad with, dried cranberries and feta and those types of salads, they have a great one there. And you can get grilled shrimp or blackened shrimp on it, which I do, which is awesome. If you want something like that, something healthy-ish. They have, you can never go wrong with a po' boy at Chimes. The roast beef po' boy is like a 50 napkin po' boy if you really want to get messy and eat that. But maybe do a cup of the duck and sausage gumbo and then pick your favorite entree. It's a good thing to do. But go sit on the roof. Make sure, give yourself time, because everybody wants to go sit on the roof, especially when it's nice. And so there may be a wait, or call to see if you can get a reservation. But I would definitely do that. I would try to go sit on the roof at Chimes. Okay, I got to go. Y'all have an awesome day. Locked on LSU is live. Yesterday was a challenge, y'all. I had to catch up. And so I didn't get locked on from Monday post until Monday evening. I know I'm behind. But anyway, so I did 2 shows last night. I did the show for yesterday. Then last night I recorded the show for today to get caught up. So today's show is live. We're back on track, on schedule. The holiday weekend just kind of threw us off a little bit. But anyway, all right. Please go check out Locked on LSU podcast or YouTube, AFR3. We'll see you. Y'all have an awesome day.